to clear up some issues, make sure you've signed in, and then when we do the swearing in, if you plan to do testimony, please stand at that time so we don't have to stop in the middle. Silence your phones and let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lisa, you want to take the roll?
Sure. Michelle Cook.
Here.
Larry Harmon.
Here.
Brad Cook.
Here.
Quinn Market. Jessica Kingsley. Jason Acevedo.
Yeah. Can you verify that the meeting was advertised?
On, let's see, on March 17th on the Township Facebook site and the website.
Can I have a motion to approve the BZA minutes from 1/22/26 and 3/12/2026?
I'll make a motion to approve both of those meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, I'm gonna take the,
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Harmon. Mrs. Cook.
yes. Okay, so our first case tonight is BZA VA 26002, 2616 Lackey Meadows Drive, Delaware, Ohio 43015. Applicant is requesting an area variance from section 24-05 of the Berlin Township zoning resolution to build a swimming pool 20 feet into the 130 setback as measured from the center line of South Old State. If you'd like to present.
We need to
Is there anyone else?
Anybody wants to talk, please stand.
Please raise your right hand. You swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other documentations for this that you'd like to present?
I can just go through the step.
Okay.
Quickly. Yeah, so the site is 2616 Lackey Meadows Drive, Delaware, Ohio. Acreage is 1.1 acres. Zone R-125 low density residential. The subject parcel is on a corner lot located at Lackey Meadows Drive and South Old State Road. The zoning to the north is the same R125 low density residential single family homes. To the south is farm residential at FR1, currently the Cross Creek Camping Resort. To the east is South Old State Road and Elm Creek State Park. And then to the west is single family homes in the same subdivision. You can see the site location on the next page. There at the edge of the subdivision, at the corner of the intersection between Lackey Meadows and South Old State. You can see the proposed plot plan, which shows the proposed pool location on the east side of the home. And the variance is for 20 feet from the edge of the building, which is 130 foot lot or setback line. And then you can see the more detailed proposed pool plan there in this location next to the building, where it is next to a current patio, and where the pool is going to extend to over the currently paved area. Summary of the proposed request: the applicant is requesting a variance from 24-05 setback regulations No building or use shall be located closer to the center line of adjoining streets, roads, highways, alleys, or approved private roadways than the distances set forth in the following table or chart. For the purposes of this chart or table and for all other purposes of the zoning resolution, streets, roads, highways, and approved private roadways shall be classified in the following classes. Class A, the township designates the following roads as Class A roads, and one of those is South Oak State Road. So therefore, we can see on the next page the chart found in the zoning resolution, which shows that the low density residential setback is 130 feet from Class A road. There was no technical agency review, and then the board analysis for the board. After that, the next 2 pages, we do have some public comment from neighbors in support of the application. You can see their comments.
Do you want to read the documents into, are we doing it as just all one into the record? Or doing them in separate pages?
Are these comments that were provided, are these after the application was submitted?
Yes.
Right, okay. We could probably do the application as one exhibit and then the staff summary and the comments, public comments.
Are the letters attached, is that all attached? Like the letters and all that attached to your staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just do the staff.
Oh, is it attached?
Yep.
Oh,
Just
it
do it
is,
as
I have an
one.
extra copy.
You
Okay,
do it as
so,
one exhibit.
let's see, the application would be exhibit 1 and then the summary that includes the comments from the neighbors would be exhibit 2.
Okay. Okay, would you like to go through the application with us?
Yeah, that'd be great. Sit, stand, walk over here.
It's up to you.
Okay. Well, the first page, I'm sure that has the important information is arguments for variance. And the number 1 question says, request variance will merely serve as convenience, but when it says there,
Sorry,
alleviate
can I get your name and address, please?
address,
Name and address?
Ken Jesinovic, that's JESENOVEC at 2616 Lucky Meadows Drive.
Go ahead and continue.
So the question is, does it alleviate a demonstrable undue hardship or difficulty? Well, granting the variance would, because I was unaware I couldn't build or put a pool in the area. If I need to move to the center of the backyard, it's gonna incur, my 6 mature trees that are 60 to 75 foot in height would have to be removed. I have drains in the yard, underground would be moved. I have underground electric. I'd be further from the utilities. And if you look at the overhead satellite view I provided, the cement existing, if we put a pool right next to it, the plan is, I have a pool builder here, on the same height and just paver all of it, make it uniform, then, you know, if you wanted to do cornhole or something, I could get double purpose out of that cement that's already there. I guess is what I'm getting at. If I put it in the center of the backyard, the oak tree, the silver maple, and the oak tree will come out. And the pool is 16 by 35. So if I do 10 foot of cement around it, which I don't want to say is the minimum, but you probably wouldn't want less than that. You're talking 36 by 55 just in the middle of the backyard. I've been in construction my whole life. My goal, whenever I would do an addition or a remodel, was to make it look like it was not an addition or a remodel. Nobody wants to drive by a house and say, oh, they did that as an add-on. I feel like the pool in the middle of the backyard is going to look like I didn't put much thought in it. I just threw a pool in the middle of my backyard. Whereas I have the existing patio, existing cement, it would just become uniform and complete. So that was the first page, the question of undue hardship. And I think the second one says any special conditions exist peculiar to this lot. Yes, out of my entire subdivision, my lot and the neighbor directly across from me are the only 2 that have this issue. And like I said, I've been in construction my whole life, but I was unaware of the build line as opposed to just the easement line. The following page, we guys go over Duncan versus Village Middlefield. I think number 2 is a great question you guys asked, is whether the variance is substantial. I replied no. Zoning substantial would only mean a request that heavily alters neighborhood character. This would not alter the neighborhood character. Number 3, I feel would be important too. It's a great question if you guys have on there. Whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be substantially altered adjoining properties or substantial detriment. It would not. Actually, where I'm putting it, it would be hidden from everyone else. If I didn't tell them I was putting it in, they wouldn't even know. I'm like 20 feet above Old State there, and there's a mound there. It's overgrown, you know, it's natural. And then I have a hedge of row of bushes between the front and backyard. I know I talked to Philip before about putting a fence in afterwards. So it'll be totally secluded. A couple of my neighbors showed up. One of the letters in there from Jay, he's not here tonight, but he put a letter in I guess, agreement with the placement of the pool I'm asking for. Wanda Campbell's here. She wrote the nice letter. She's the one that sent my wife the photos of, you know, how nice our backyard usually looks and how she always enjoys it. And Greg Breckler's here. He lives across the street also. He didn't write a letter, but he's here in support. Randy and Greg and I, we are 3 of the original property owners. So we've all bought, we're original owner, we've been there the whole time. So then on number 7 especially, I think the whole goal of zoning here is to keep the spirit and intent of zoning requirements. And so you ask whether the variance preserves the spirit and intent of the zoning requirements and whether substantial justice will be done by granting a variance. And I answered that with the spirit and intent will be preserved by the fact that the approval of variance does not contradict any underlying purpose of zoning, safety, preventing congestion, deliveries, anything. Additionally, substantial justice will be done by providing relief from practical difficulty that is specific to the property. Unless you guys have questions, that's all I really have. I did the overhead, added, I'm assuming your packet views from the street, just to show that it's remote. Like I said, once this pool's installed, other than seeing some stuff during construction, I don't think anyone will ever know it's there. Question?
I do. First question I had is the existing cement that would be basketball or whatever.
Right.
That's within that 130 foot, right?
That is.
And how is that? Is that before zoning? Is that not considered a use? How is that already there? Whereas we're debating further in. Is that something
It's
that
the cement, I don't know if it matters, but the cement is flush with the ground. There's no railings, there's no steps, there's no pitch, there's no.
I got it. But the language was use. So,
Yeah.
So if he was coming in to say there's nothing there now other than a basketball court, is that something we'd also be treating as a variance?
Yeah.
And this pre-existing before zoning, I'm starting with that as, well, that's already there.
Correct.
That's a little less severe than that.
Yeah, I
Did you
don't
have
remember when
approval?
that was put in. I mean, it's within, I moved there, I don't know. But I know, like when I did my shed, and I don't remember this guy, I know it was a Slovenian guy that worked here for years, and I know Berlin Township has grown, right? But Berlin Township, when I moved in 2000, was a little different. And a little bit more like, are you building a shed? Yeah, put next on this piece of paper, give me $50.
Even as it's 2000?
Yes.
I would say that when we do measure pools for setbacks, we measure to the edge of the water, not for the surrounding area surrounding the pool. So if you have a deck or cement area where you get out of the water, we don't include that in our measurement for the setbacks of the pool.
And is your measurement including the concrete and the periphery or just the edge of the water?
I'm at the edge of the water. As you can see on the road kind of runs at an angle, and I believe exactly to the front corner is 130. I mean, it says 57.4. I don't know where exactly the 130 goes to, but I think I'm right against 130 on the front corner. So the pool is going to be straight out, and that line gets greater as you go to the back of the property. So that's why I said approximately 20 feet into the 130-foot build line, because it's going to be at an angle. It's not going to all be the exact. It's not going to be parallel with the center of the street. It's going to be more parallel with this house.
Philip, do you know, perhaps not, but the guidelines that say that a Class A, and I assume we know Gold State is a Class A.
It's spelled out in the,
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the 130-foot easement designed for safety, for aesthetics? Any idea how the 130 was arrived at, why that number, and what it was protecting?
I don't know the intent of it, but like I said, it's 130 feet for all Class A roads. That's South State, Africa, 36, 37. The main roads in the township are all 130 feet.
And I think your questions are good there, and I thought that through in my head too. Of course, saying this, it benefits me, but I think with the ditch, the mound, and the 20 feet rise, that alleviates some of the concerns of that, as opposed to if we were just flat with the road and anybody could just drive in or over.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
from
over
aesthetics.
time, Old State has been widened considerably in the 20 years that you've been here, and it's coming closer, it's coming to our town, to this township. What's it to say that they're not gonna continue to widen, and that's gonna be,
The questions with
did you
that
take
is,
that into consideration for your safety and for the
I
people
did,
getting your
because it's
pools?
still gonna be a 20-foot rise. So that's where I'm going with this, is they could widen it, and I don't know, I talked to Philip about this, I don't know what goes into the thought of which side of the road you widen, if you do both equally or what. But I know on my side has the storm sewers, the high power electric, the fiber optic, everything, where the other side is a ditch for campgrounds. I'm just saying, if I was putting a road in and widening it, the cost would be tremendously less to go the other way.
And that's not anybody here in this room that would be making those
Right,
decisions.
agreed, and I don't know if they consider that.
But, and that's the other thing with the utilities going over impacting the concern.
That was my
With-
bigger concern,
Sorry.
in the road. If
Well,
you-
and I think they're
Big
depicted in
towers.
your pictures that you provided, that you could see the utilities. You know. So, in your 3-page picture, the bottom one,
Okay.
so you have the utilities, the tree, and you were talking about your shrubs that you have out there.
Yeah,
So, the pool is gonna be on this side of those.
the pool is gonna be like right up against the house. So if it's 130 feet from the center of Old State, I'm upside down, I'm sorry, over here to the corner of my house, I'm gonna be in the first 20 feet. of
Okay, so
130.
you're,
So you're gonna have approximately 110 feet left. And these poles are, here's the aerial shape a little better.
Where this round bit is, correct? What is it?
That's where I had an above ground pool forever. And homeowners said, you need a fence for that. I said, Berlin Township and Delaware County said, no. They said, we said you do. So I took it down and now I'm going the in-ground route. I know. But that's what started this whole thing.
okay.
For approximately 6 years, I had an above ground pool. The $400 one from Sam's Club. And
Do you have any additional questions, Larry?
No, that's all I was driving at was, I think the height, the aesthetics aren't a problem, the neighbors aren't bothered. We're not the least bit concerned, I'm not the least bit concerned about that. I just keep seeing, you know, we've addressed utilities and towers and development and electronic, all this stuff is now hitting so fast. And if that 130 feet is designed to facilitate infrastructure, not yours, not mine, but towers, wires, pipes, all that stuff, what happens when we've okayed a pool that is now part of that? And I guess that's where I'm gonna have the biggest.
I'm not in disagreement with you. We're just driving around the community, like if I look to the left, I see a fence 8 feet from Cheshire Road. I mean, that would be more of a concern for me in the near time future with the roundabout and 2 lanes coming towards that. When I came up here in 2000, everything from Polaris to my house was stop signs. They just tell everyone, go to 4 stop signs, you're gonna see one on both sides, pull in the next neighborhood. They progressively made a stop sign and a red light. They started, we all know, started at Powell Road, started at Orange and that. fact that in 25 years, we've only added lanes from Polaris to Orange. I think Orange to Lewis Center would be a huge leap. I know we've had this exit plan for Lewis Center to go to the freeway. It was on a 15-year plan, a 10-year plan, now it's on a 5-year plan. But I almost feel like we're in that sweet spot where if you're going to Cheshire Road, people are going to be coming south from 36, 37. If you're going north of my house, you're going to be coming from that way also. We're kind of in the middle where I don't know if we're going to get that log jam, because if you're south of my house, you're probably coming up from Polaris, and if you're north of my house, you're probably coming from 36, 37. I know that's just projection on my part, but I know going down up and down Old State, there's houses closer than 130 feet. I know they were there existing and all that. But I know they've accepted new power lines, new fiber optic, new everything. And the 15 to 25 foot easement usually incorporates all that. I can't, in my foreseeable anything, still being 110 feet from the center of the road, I think I wouldn't want you to put a high voltage tower over there still. I mean, people put cell towers on their property, you know, to get money per month for it, but I don't want any of that. I'm just saying, I think there's still room. Even if we went a lane each way, and you put a lane on either side. I mean, you're pretty much losing my ditch. You're not even gonna affect the grade of my yard.
And the last question I've got, you mentioned one line, 15 foot variance, and in a paragraph or so down, it was 15-20.
Well, I don't know when I was doing it, what I was thinking, because I was kind of trying to get it all together quick. I did this at the beginning of February. I was trying to hit that March 12th meeting, so I was getting it all in for that, which didn't end up going through. But then I realized I am going to have a gap between the pool and the house, so then I'm going to have some leeway there.
20 is more realistic.
So what is have you guys laid it out or walked it?
They would be, Jimmy Moore from Moore.
Would you like to state your name and address for the record?
It's Joe Moore, and my address is 87 Hayden Road, and that's Plain City. If I may, I'll just.
Right.
What I'd like to most comment is just a little bit about construction and the cost of removing these trees and relocating service lines and stuff like that, just on the hardship side of things and what we do. So my company, we've done a lot of pools in your township and on Delaware.
You've been before us.
Yes, we have. We have. So we do about 70 in-ground pools and projects a year, 400 patios in all municipalities in Central Ohio. So just know, when we get these, we do them all the right way. Like whatever that plot plan says is exactly what we'll follow, whatever is approved. So we're very by the book and follow any guidelines that are given to us in that permit once it's approved. You know what I mean? So what Ken's saying is, and what I see a lot of is these setbacks. So sometimes it's rear setbacks and build lines and things like that. Like to me, what jumps out at me is that 130 foot is literally right at his house structure. You know what I mean? So
the developer used
every single inch of it that he could, knowing that, I imagine. You know what I mean? So. You know, and we can't, like you said, nobody in this room can predict future infrastructure and things like that. But to me, whatever they do, I don't see them setting a pole or putting a lane of a highway where this pool would go. You know what I mean? So as far as cost of if we did move it around back, which is a possibility, but it's going to cost. So his trees, obviously they're mature trees. They've got to be bucketed down or cut from the top down. You just can't drop them. So you're looking at each one of those trees, depending on who does it and logistics and things, anywhere from $3 to $5 grand, $6 grand per tree. You know what I mean? Then moving your electric service and things like that. When I first came out to Ken's house and looked at it, he said, "This is what I'm thinking." And once I went through everything and our landscape architect went through it, we thought it made good sense for flow, his existing utilities, his existing trees and things like that. So that's mostly what I just want to speak on is he will have a really a substantial cost more if we did go that rear route. But when I saw that build line, when I first saw this permit, I thought, okay, we're in really good shape. When I saw that 15 foot easement, and then when they said 130 foot line to the house, that totally surprised me personally. And we look at a lot of these, you know what I mean? But every property, every structure is different, so.
What is the exact measurement?
Yeah, so from the corner, if you look at that, I've got the plot plan here, but if you look at this here,
Yes.
he's basically from the edge of the road, or I'm sorry, from the edge of his property line to that edge of the pool is actually the edge of the pool deck on that far side. Is from his property line is 32 feet 4 inches from the property line.
This is what they submitted.
Yeah.
And that's what it's-
So this is 32.4 from the edge of the concrete to the edge of the property line.
And they're saying from the edge of my house to the edge of my property line is 57.
Yeah.
So I guess if we subtract 32 from 57, it'd be about 25 feet.
Off of this edge with the concrete,
Is that
but not the pool.
Is that the center of the house or corner?
It's this corner right here, and it runs at an angle all the way. They blocked it out 10 or bill bid just to show it, but it's literally from this corner is where that line is. And it's a slight angle, it's a tight angle to the house, but it's basically this corner here. And, so edge of pool deck, we're 27 feet approximately from the edge of the pool and 32 from the edge of the house. To the front of the house.
It's probably the existing house.
Yeah.
That was the original permit they had submitted.
That's when we first did that.
Brad, what questions do you have?
There we go, everything.
Is there any comment from council?
I would just note that if it's in a utility easement of any kind, and it's distracting or obstructing in any way, it's removed. So,
I get that, but he's, like he said, there's.
that's what I said, and if you have somebody, like engineer or whatever, put together a plat map, they would go to the utility easements that are there.
That's a good point.
So,
We've done them with permits where it would say, when it is granted, the homeowner signs off that's saying, if it ever does intrude on you, it's on the homeowner's responsibility, not the developer or the township and things like that. He would take full responsibility. I've seen those before. Good point.
Is there any public comment?
I would just,
Please state your name and address, please.
2600 Happy I'm directly west of Jesinovics. Been their neighbors for 23 years. And I can tell you, everything they put in their lawn or around their house, on the outside, on the inside, is immaculate. So there wouldn't be any problem with visual impairments or anything like that. He's built his own shed in the backyard. It looks like his house. It's got the same siding, same roof, everything. So I'm not worried about that. I love the trees. I'm the one that sent the text to his wife in 2021 saying it was just the right lighting and everything, and for them to have to take those trees down, I think would be terrible. But as far as where it would be, we wouldn't even see them. Nobody from the road would see them because of their shrubbery. They have very tall pines. I think they're pines. Arborvitaes. Yeah, they're taller than he is. So. And they're on that side, and they're also toward the front of the house, so nobody would see from either direction. And the embankment, along Old State, there's the ditch, and then it goes up, way up, like you can't even see up there now. So I don't see any issue with it at all.
Anybody else? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, let me explain why I'd like to make the motion. I think because of the fact that it's, number one, the cement's already there. It's kind of like a precedent was set, and this really isn't interfering with anything at this point. And the last comment you made, where if in fact towers, wires, public development, road, everything happened, it's gonna be on you. You're gonna have cars closer to your pool, and you'd have to sign off on that. Is there something?
yeah, I would just say you could just attach a condition to it that says that, they confirm that there is no existing utility easements in the area.
And I don't see that as a hurdle at all, because we're doing this obviously intentions, but we're not planning on moving it.
And they can provide that to Philip at any point that they apply.
And with that condition where it's on you, if anything, evolves in the future that's detrimental to the thing, you guys work it out, but I don't see where it's impacting anybody negatively personally. Any more comments?
No, I agree, we need to stipulate that just for the record in the motion and any future.
In that case, I would ask for an approval vote on area variance BZA VA-26-002.
I think we need to add the exact variance
Yeah,
number
whatever the exact.
before we make a motion.
And
That's agreed
I'm not good
upon.
at technical stuff, you guys straighten me out on that.
So Philip, can you double check to make sure that we're making the correct variance that's needed?
Jim?
I mean, if the three of you guys, or you've designed it, your team verify?
Yes.
And what I was gonna say is, do you remember what we had from the house that is the pool?
Yes, so pool deck size from the house to the pool, I've got it right here. So from the, basically from the house to the water's edge, 5 feet.
Okay,
And then the other side is 5 feet.
okay.
So house to water's edge, 5 feet. From house to water's edge.
If, I don't, and I know you said originally before this became a variance, they were gonna stake it, we were gonna be able to look at it and then say, yes, no, maybe, tweak it. I think I said it before, like, I had to put it in the back, I think I had to go 10 feet.
Okay, 10, so.
Yeah.
So,
If we're gonna put it in, not put it in cement and make these final numbers.
and then 10 foot shallow and.
Well, whatever goes to the existing concrete, whatever's the remainder is.
Yeah, so from house to water's edge on the house side would be 10 feet. To water's edge. That determines how far that pool's gonna go over into the build line, you know what I mean?
And then how wide's the pool?
Is it 15 foot pool?
It says 16, but it's like 15.5 with water.
So we're looking at 25.5.
Yeah.
What was the number again?
25.5.
From which side
And that would be from the northern side of the house. As you go back, it
North side of the
would
house.
get closer to the house, or further from the street.
East side.
So a maximum setback of 25.5?
So you're for a variance of 25.5 feet into the setback.
And for the pool as depicted, so they can't make it longer.
So do you want to continue with your motion?
Sure, we'll try again. Asked to approve area variance BZA 26-002 for a area setback variance of 25.5 feet maximum, and conditions that will be imposed upon the owner to accept all liabilities for future development.
Yeah, and I would just add a condition that they confirm when they apply for their zoning certificate that there are no utility easements in the area.
With that stipulation that there are no easements, utility easements in the area. You can clean up that language for me, I'd appreciate it.
And as depicted, the pool as depicted in the plan, so they can't get a variance for the whole side. I build it longer.
With the pool as depicted in the plan.
I'd love to second something, but I don't know what.
Bring it to Philip.
We'll get you a spot.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, would you like to take a vote?
Sure, Mr. Herman,
Yes.
Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Mrs. Cook?
Yes.
And we'll need pictures from Wanda when it's all done.
She'll be there. The goal is,
I can walk on the other side of the house with you guys.
Go
Get
bring it
her
around.
now. We'll send you some for out.
No, is that including your fence too that you need for your homeowners association?
yeah, this was the big hurdle. And I was very nervous with 3 out of 3, I'm gonna go for it and never doing this. So I appreciate his time and
You took your luck.
Yeah, I did.
I was lucky today.
I had reached out to the builder and my neighbors and that, and I had everything in motion, so I'm like, let's just move forward. See what happens. And Phil told me that it wouldn't count as one of my three, it went bad. All right, well, thank you very much, appreciate everything. Good luck. Thank you. Hopefully you guys see it by June 20th. That's the goal.
Thanks,
You hear that thing?
We'll see you. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a few minutes here to get them cleared out. Okay. Moving on to BZA 25-007. At this time, I would like to go into executive
You'd like to go to conference?
conference.
Yes. You're not going into executive session.
Okay, conference. So, 10 minutes at the moment? probably?
You go.
Okay, so we'll be back.
But what's the?
Okay. So we have some findings from the council that we'd like to add to the record. Can you add this to the exhibits? It's the finding of facts and conclusions of law.
So would that be exhibit 3? All right.
Oh, I think we're,
Where did we?
Or you're just reading it at, or, I think we just had 2, so this would be 3.
Yeah, this would be great.
okay. And then Mr. Renner, would you like to cover the highlights?
Yeah, so as typical with, somewhat complex projects, I always draft proposed findings and fact conclusions of law for the board to consider. And so what this does is take section 3207D, which is the section of the Berlin Township zoning resolution that addresses decision criteria for conditional use permit applications. And it kind of goes through each of those requirements. And so the first one is that the proposed use is in fact a conditional use established under the district regulations. As you know, this property is zoned FR1, and the proposed use is for a soccer club that incorporates an air-inflated structure pursuant to section 7.04N. And the proposed finding on this is that based upon the application materials that were originally submitted and amended, documented by the hearing transcripts up through today, and then the exhibits that, and the testimony of the applicant and its representatives, that the proposed use is not a conditional use established under section 7.04N. And the reason for that is because the proposed use is for a soccer club that's served principally by this air-inflated structure. So it's a little bit different than what's going on now, because as the applicant testified, they will be using this building for the business activities of the soccer club. They'll be engaging in commercial sales. People will be having to check in and to use the facility, and that they will also be renting the facility out to other parties. And so it's a little bit different from what the current permitted use is. And so based upon what the applicant has indicated they intended to use the property for through this air-inflated structure, it doesn't make, from my perspective, and the board was certainly willing to make whatever decision they want, but it seemed to me that this was not a structure that was incidental to the use of the property, that it was actually going to be a principal use of the property. And soccer clubs, notwithstanding, soccer clubs are a permitted use in Berlin Township. They are specifically authorized by Article 21 of the Berlin Township zoning resolution, which is the planned industrial district, and it's specifically pursuant to NAICS code 713990. So that was the proposed finding on the first criteria. The second criteria is the uses of such nature will be designed, constructed, operated, and maintained so as to be harmonious and appropriate with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and that such use will not change the existing character of the same area. In reviewing that one, the principal issue on this one was that the proposed structure, the maximum height was indicated to be approximately 54 feet. And the maximum height for structures in the FR1 district is 35 feet. So notwithstanding the first criteria, it doesn't comply with the development standards for the FR1 district. And then the third criteria is the use will not pose a discernible hazard to existing adjacent uses. Based upon what I saw was presented, didn't seem to be any issues or concerns with that one. The use will be served adequately by essential public facilities and services such as highways, streets, police and fire protection, drainage structures, refuse disposal, water and sewer, and schools. Again, based upon what was presented, didn't really seem to be any issues or concerns with that one. Criteria 5, the use will not involve uses, activities, processes, materials, equipment, and conditions of operation that are detrimental to any person's property or the general welfare by reason of excessive production of traffic, noise, fumes, glare, or odors. I know there were some concerns that were raised, but again, it appeared that there would be any excessive, unreasonable amounts of traffic, noise, smoke, fumes, glare, odors, so there didn't really seem to be any concern with that one. And then finally, criteria 6 is the use will be consistent with the objectives of the Berlin Township zoning resolution and the Berlin Township comprehensive land use plan. Again, based upon all the information that was presented, again, it would seem that this proposed use would not be consistent with the objectives of the Berlin Township zoning resolution. One, because it's not conditional, a permitted conditional use pursuant to section 7.04 of the Berlin Township zoning resolution, as I described earlier. 2, the proposed use exceeds the maximum height of structures permitted by section 7.06C of the Berlin Township zoning resolution, as I described earlier. And 3, the proposed use is not a permitted conditional use authorized by section 7.04 of the Berlin Township zoning resolution, but rather is a permitted use pursuant to Article 21 of the Berlin Township zoning resolution as described herein, if the property were approved for rezoning from FR1 to PID. So those would be recommended proposed findings of fact, conclusions of law. Again, it's not necessarily saying they can't do what they are proposing, but it would seem that it would be better suited for a rezoning as opposed to a conditional use permit.
Okay. At this time, do we want to make a motion for approval or denial for this request?
You're more articulate than I've read.
I'm sorry?
It's your turn then.
It's my turn.
Yes, sir.
Well, in that case, I would like to make a motion to deny BZA 25007 for the fact that it is not, it's not used as allowed for FR1, but rather for PID.
I'll second.
And if you intend to adopt the findings of fact or whatever, I would incorporate that into the motion.
And I would like to adopt the findings of facts into the decision making here. You know, also state that they still have conditional use for their current use. It's not like we're putting them out of business.
I have a question on that.
Not at
No.
this time.
That's done, so thank you.
Again, I second proposal.
So you want to take the roll?
Sure, Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mrs. Cook?
Yes. If you would like to meet with the township zoning inspector, you could apply for a rezoning.
So functionally, administratively, how they work, there's a form they fill out. And so she will have to sign off on it, so they'll have that ready tomorrow, Thursday, or whatever. They have the formal decision. And then you want to talk to Phil, you know how to do all that.
Take it out back.
So, you know how to do all that, so.
I appreciate it. Thank you for considering it, and, thank you.
That's
Any questions?
I don't have a question, we're probably have a question.
All right.
I mean, you can continue to use it as it is today. And if there's any other outstanding issues with the zoning that we'd like to get up to code, which you guys have been, looks like you've been doing some work prior to with the field and that. But the way it is, it doesn't seem to fit under the conditional use. But there are other options out there for rezoning of that piece of property that might be a better fit. But under what we have to follow for the guidelines, it just didn't seem to fit in that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, is there any,
One place or another, right?
Yeah.
is there any other information? Oh, we need to take the vote. Oh, no, we did.
You took the vote.
We took the vote. Is there any other business, Philip?
There's no other business this time. There's no cases at the moment, so we'll be in touch.
But we're supposed to schedule some additional training.
Yeah, and so if you guys want to do that, it's up, well, 5 of you could be available. So, I mean, I think we talked about May.
Right,
Because April's bad.
April's bad for 2 of us.
May is generally okay with me, so I'm not traveling anywhere till around Memorial Day.
So if you want to try to get a date scheduled and put out there for May, the first week of May?
That's
First week of May?
Better
Well, I
check-
mean-
check with our chairman, see.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying, I
I'll
don't know about
check
that
with
too,
Jason.
so.
I can check with Jason.
Well, the other three,
Plus they did put out on the township website and Facebook that we do have an open seat on this board.
What I would
an
suggest
alternate.
is to get multiple dates, just because I do have other meetings that people like to monopolize my time. So.
I can send out an email with 2 or 3 or 4.
No,
dates.
if you give him 2 or 3 dates, and
Should
then,
be fine. Just make sure I can work it into all my other evenings, so.
Would that be just a regular meeting, or would be considered
It might be a special meeting.
a special meeting, but that's how we would advertise it, just a work session or a.
Work session.
motion to adjourn?
Is she allowed to ask a question at this point?
We can make it be after the meeting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to read.
I'm just curious if the training is for the board or is it for the community?
Sorry for that, but if, like, there is an open, if you would like to put your name in the hat.
There's an opening.
Zoning only becomes important when it's in your backyard, or your front yard or side yard.
Yeah, people, yeah, if anyone's interested, they can apply for the alternate position with the township. It's been open for a while.
It's been open since January.
Okay.
Okay, move to join the meeting?
Second. You have a question?
I'll just ask where you get more information.
That's good.
I did.
Yes, I'm sitting here looking at there's something I'm missing.
So,
Yeah.
what's the direction?
Michelle, do you have the findings of fact?
Yes, I have a copy for you.
Do you have copies?
Yeah.
Do you have extra?
I got 2.
How long did you say the training would last? Like a couple hours or?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Because we're performing.
right.
Or is this
I can do it on Friday,
So that's something.
This is one thing.
because I'm in Dublin on Wednesday. That's a different. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure. That's what we go past, right? Okay, do you have?
What time is best for you?
Here, let me, okay, I'm make sure.
Sure, okay. How about 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, here,
Okay.
take this though.
Here,
You
I
see
can.
it online, and you should take the original rate. Wait,
Okay.
make sure. Give this to him. That's
Okay.
That's exhibit 1, right? And the exhibit 2 is, here's the stuff.
And then report.
Because. And take both of these just because you need it for the transcript, all that.
This one.
One, right? Oh, wait, yeah, wait, I don't, oh my gosh. I'm glad that you're on top. Wait,
So
is
this-
there anything? Oh, just to find you, oh. Wait a minute, did we just see where Martin has exhibit 3? Yeah, and no one's, but you look quizzical. Were you thinking what that? Well, it's exhibit 3 now, it's just exhibit 1.
You're on.
There's no exhibit on there.
It's not on there.
Second hearing or whatever that was. But that was for the pool.
You mean continue from the last one?
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Really take a chunk out of it.
Wait.
I think we are actually the furthest out.
Yeah, it's just worked out that way?
I'll
Well,
check.
everyone's the same.
Right.
It was until they started.
Yeah.
came to the house if I was
Fairly short.
I told her, you're in order. Oh, that's right. Okay.
We're gonna get some information on that alternate.
Oh, if you go to the, it's on Facebook, but if you go, have you been on the website?
I'm not.
Oh, you're not, oh, okay, it is,
I work in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Social media, so.
But if it becomes a problem.
let me,
Just because it's permitted use.
just a minute, I can give you her, you would, so we have an administrator here now,
Okay.
thank goodness, and
I just wanna collect some more information.
yeah, like what, information did you want, like, they do get
Just what the
paid a small
commitments-
amount, like $80, $80 a meeting, just to review the applications. And right now, we've been meeting like ad hoc, it usually meets once a month, I mean, we've gotten busier, it used to be a couple times a year, so it's usually once a month or.
Community's growing.
It really is, and so, it's usually once or twice a month, they might end up setting like a regular day, like the first Thursday or something in the month, and then they don't
Yeah, we
have
have
anything,
had
but right now, we
so
just
many.
figure out when people are available, but then like our chair couldn't make it tonight because of his real job, he was out of town, so, it's not as much of a commitment as the zoning commission, so a lot of people with the zoning commission where they're rezoning properties, what they were discussing there, rezoning that to like a commercial use, which is, that's awful, so you guys might wanna get the,
Oh yeah, I will rally the troops.
Yeah,
if they
because
just come back for that.
I
Because
cannot.
if they approve that and then they decide to sell, it can become a gas station.
Oh,
Any number of
anything.
things, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what we've been
I can't
indicating.
imagine.
To put it right across the
It's
street from
true.
that,
I mean, that, and when you
Oh,
moved in,
furious.
there's something called the comprehensive land use plan that you can look up on the website.
Okay.
And it's kind of by scenic, it's on the website, and it's kind of the plan for how the township would develop. So if you don't have that, anyone can put anything anywhere. So it has like commercial areas, and it has what the, that used to be up on the wall.
I've seen it.
Have you seen
When
it?
they did the fire station. I've seen it. I know.
Yeah, it says like, it's currently like farm residential and it's planned to be single family, a certain density and stuff like that. So I'm assuming there's no commercial in that area because that's a residential area. So once, I mean, and plus they're currently in violation. Someone sent an email saying they're using it for field hockey. It's not, they're having field hockey games there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And sign it, and that's not approved, so you guys might want to agree on that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I would get everyone together if you don't want it there, because then if it's not on the land use plan, that's a good reason to take it down. But if they do apply, then there would be a hearing, for the zoning commission.
Like I said, I'm not against them having a soccer club there. I'm
The
very
bubble,
for
the
it.
bubble.
It was the building and all that. Like that was just too much.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, I came home and looked at my own trees, and I was imagining them being blocked, and the sunset, whoever showed the picture of the sunset would be blocked, I was like, that's really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and like you said, it would turn into an entire commercial use. It's usually just like, you'd review the materials and come in and you'd be an alternate. Here, they have the alternates come in